Hey, 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 how are you all? Hello, welcome to Scared of Beautiful. I am Plez. Thank you so much for joining me today, all of my beauties and bows. You all are my faithful subscribers. I'm so happy to see so many of you all in the chat. Hello, Silver Diamond. How are you? Delencia, I hope I'm saying your name wrong. Delcinia, I'm sorry. How are you today? Happy Valentine's Day, y'all. Pretty Mrs. G, thank you so much. One of my faithful moderators. I want to say thank you before I even start to all of my moderators. You all are so wonderful, so giving, and I just could not do these lives without you, without your support. So I want to thank you all. I see some more of you all coming in. Thank you all so much for being here. I decided when I got home from work today to just do this on the fly. I know I have not been present on YouTube recently, and some people are like, what is going on? Where are you? YouTube is about content, content, content. You have to keep your name out there. You have to be in the algorithm. And I'm going to get into some of that in this video, but I would be remiss without acknowledging and giving my gratitude and support to my faithful subscribers. If you are new here, please consider subscribing to the channel, joining this community that we have. I'm excited about a lot of things. I'm planning a lot of things to come. And I just wanted to commemorate that today marks 1 year from when I released my first YouTube video on my channel, Scared of Beautiful, on YouTube. It was my first foray into this YouTube world and really trying to figure out my place, my voice, and what I wanted to do on this program, right? I really had to take some time, take a step back, fully, analyze, take in everything that has happened over this last year and really decide what I want to do on this platform. So I do apologize for not being as consistent. I know as some people may have wanted. I apologize for not giving you the reviews that you all came to know me by, but ultimately, I had to take my time and really try to figure out what I want to do. When you become a YouTube creator or any type of content creator, if you are looking to grow, if you are looking to make an impact, you do your research, right? All smart people do their research. And any research that you do on YouTube or that you do on most content creation will tell you that you need a niche, right? You need to pick a lane and stick with it. That's the way you grow. That's the way you get bigger. That's the way you make more money. But what happens when you don't really care about the money? And what happens when you are not that person that wants to be in a lane, right? And that's me. So part of why I have been gone is because I've been having this kind of fight with myself on, do I want to grow and cultivate a community, a certain feeling? Do I want to be true to myself and just kind of talk about what I want to talk about? Or do I want to get money and grow fast and have, all of the things that we see in this social media world that's driven by fame and money and all of these things? And I know to some people that sounds weird or maybe different. That's just me. I work. I do good work. I make good money, or money for me. And this thing has never for me been about money. It's about putting out good energy. It's about having good conversations and really cultivating what I would like to see when I come on YouTube, right? So I just want to really thank you all for sticking in with me and pushing me when I need a push. I have some consistent people that I really care about that I have met through YouTube that check in on me. You all know who you are. The DMs, the phone calls, the emails. I really want to thank you all for that, and thank you all for standing by me and seeing it through as we get this channel off the ground. Um yeah, I have to show my gratitude to you all for hearing me, for seeing me, and for standing in the gap when sometimes I wasn't going to. I say what I have to say and I move on. That has always been me and always will be me. But sometimes, you know, there are things that need to be said. There are things that need to be done. And I'm going to get into a little bit of that on this video. This video is going to be lots of things. It'll be some funny. It'll be some serious. It'll be light at the end of the day. But I just wanted to take this time to kind of chat with you all, let you all know where I am, let you all know where this channel is moving. And I pray and hope that you are along for the ride. And if you are not, I understand that too. And like I said, for me, that has kind of been a struggle, So if you have seen me on YouTube before, then you may know that I kind of started off doing some housewives commentary that kind of moves in reality show commentary, period. I used to love some reality shows. That's changing a little bit. But then that kind of devolved into something different that I'm not really about, right? So if you enjoy celebrity gossip or keeping up with trends and things like that, by all means, there are wonderful content creators out here that you all can follow. Just know that there are times when I'll talk about current events, but honestly, not so much. I'm going to talk a little bit today about the Super Bowl and things that I've been excited about that's coming up. But as much as celebrity gossip goes, y'all, I scroll through the Shade Room or like the Jasmine brand every now and again, maybe once a day, at least probably 3 or 4 times a week. And that's it. I see what's going on and I keep it moving. I don't really keep up with any celebrity like that. I'm just not invested in it. There was a time in my life when I was really, really into blogs, when blogs were big, probably like 05 to 2010, Young Black and Fabulous, Concrete Loop, Sandra Rose, Rhymes with Snitch, Nicole Bitchy, all of that. I went through that phase. And just at this point in my life, I'm 38 now, I don't really care what these people do. And half the time, y'all, I'm having to accept the fact, and I don't like it, that I am moving into auntie status. Ugh, I don't like it. Like, I don't feel 38 yet. But when things happen and I go to run and see what Twitter and everybody is talking about, I'm like, who are these, Harpo? Who are these people? Who are these children? I don't know them. I don't know them. So I really want to create a space where there are topics and things that people like me and specifically Black professional women of a certain age, and even those that are not a certain age, and even if you're not a woman, a man, just talk about different topics, life topics, have fun, and really move into that. So I can tell you anything about this channel moving forward and thinking about what my niche is going to be. There are plenty of people who are like, you're a lawyer. We want you to talk about the law, talk about this case, talk about that case. I hear y'all. I appreciate y'all. But as I've said many times before, YouTube is an outlet for me. I do the law every day. I don't want to get on here and talk about legal matters. Now, there are some times when I'll drop some legal knowledge, or if it's something that's really important to me, I will absolutely do it. And I do have a line of interviews coming up with some of my friends who are lawyers. You know, one thing I know that's really important is representation. And that's one thing that God has blessed me with. Through my education, through my schooling, I know lots of Black people who do things, wonderful things, who are bosses. You know, you have a family law question, I have someone for you. You have a criminal law question, I have someone for you. It ain't me. I don't want to do that. So we'll get into some of that, but just know I hear you all's suggestions. I definitely take them into consideration. And there are times when I will talk about certain subjects, but I'll give an example: the George Floyd trial. Everybody was like, man, you need to follow this. We want updates. We want, y'all, I come from a very rural town in Mississippi. I stopped watching things like that a long time ago. And I can't tell you what to do as a Black person in the United States of America. But what I will tell you to do is you have to protect your peace. And if watching something day in and day out is harmful to your peace, to your mental health, if it angers you and you still have to get up and go to work the next day, you may not want to. I'm not telling you not to be informed. I'm not telling you not to watch the news, because you absolutely should, right? Again, in our situation, you have to be aware. There's a difference between being aware and going down rabbit holes and becoming borderline obsessed, right? And some of that is what I see on YouTube. I see a lot of rabbit holes. I see a lot of, whew, and I'm like, people got to step away from the computer and the telephone, honey, because no, like, I feel like we're living in a matrix. I've been feeling like that for a while. And sometimes when I come in these social media spaces, that is honestly often why I take breaks. I'll have something that I'm excited about and I really want to talk about it on YouTube. And I'll get on YouTube and it's a whole circus going on. I'm like, never mind. I don't want the energy. I don't want to engage. Now, part of that is me, right? That means I had to do some work. I had to hit some do not recommends. I had to hit some blocks. I had to clean up what my algorithm had turned into because of the last year and everything that happened. And I had to remove some of that because I refuse to let social media and certain narratives be painted about me and my people. That whether you know it or not, y'all, the more you feed yourself with that type of stuff, you start to believe it. It starts to change your narrative. It starts to change how you feel about your own people, about yourself. So, yeah, nah. I like a little mess here and there, a little, oh, girl, what happened? Oh, okay. That's it. That's all. I don't run and tell everybody what happened, who did what, when, where, why. I'm not that interested. Not at all. I always laugh when I talk about housewife stuff because, as you all know, if you don't know, you will. I like Kenya more. And when I first started talking about this, right, I would get DMs from people. How do you like Kenya? Why do you like Kenya? You're a good person. Oh my God. People would literally send me like videos and interviews and tweets and things that Kenya has done over the years. And I'm like, hold on. I talk about a show. I like Kenya on the show. I like her as a character on said show. I don't follow Kenya. I don't even have Twitter. I don't follow Kenya on Instagram. I don't care about what she does in her day-to-day life. I like her on Real Housewives of Atlanta. And that is my prerogative. So for you to come, several people, and try to confront me or persuade me is crazy. I'm not arguing with you about who you like. People love Phaedra. I don't know why. She's funny, good with shade. But I did not like her as a character on the show. I was glad when she left. It is what it is. I don't go and try to persuade you and say you should think like me. And it's so crazy. Again, it's a narrative that I kind of see on social media, especially and on YouTube, that everybody wants everybody to think like them. No, that's not what makes for healthy discussion. It's not what makes for growth. It's not what makes for change. Anyway, um, that's it. That's all. That was a long intro. I didn't mean it to be that long. Kind of covered some stuff that I was already going to cover later. But the basis of that was thank you all so much for I'm yours and y'all gonna stick beside me, honey. Y'all are sticking beside me. And I am really, honestly, truly from the bottom of my heart grateful for that. When I'm consistent, when I'm not consistent, when you're like, Plez, where's this review? And oh, you started out reviewing this show and then you stopped. Honestly, most times when I stop reviewing a show, it's because I can't take it anymore. These shows have changed so much, in my opinion. Or maybe I'm changing. Who knows? It is what it is. But yeah, I if I don't like something, I'm not going to watch it. And I tried, right? Oh, I'm going to watch it. People are counting on me. People really want to hear what I have to say. And that is true. But it's honestly also kind of narcissistic in a way because, y'all, there are tons of people on YouTube who review these shows. Great people. Kempire is bomb. Miss Misha, I hope I'm saying her name, bomb. You know, all the ladies at the ladies first panel, bomb. Princess, bomb. Her panel. There are great people. Don't please, if I didn't say your name, charge it to my head, not my heart. It's so many of you all. I love the people that I love. Let me make that clear. But there are lots of voices, lots of opinions. And there are some shows coming up that I'm excited about, and I'll tell you about that. But anyway, that's the gratitude portion. Thank you all for being here and choosing to support me, choosing to watch my videos, and choosing, to be a beauty or beau if you're subscribed. And if you're not, hit that subscribe button. Make sure you turn your notifications on. So, y'all, okay, let's get into it. We talked about gratitude. Thank you all so much. I know the chat is going by. I can't, I'm trying to get this done, so I'm not here holding y'all all night. But thank you so much. Just T, please. Hey, happy Valentine, please. So glad to see you. Sandra Robinson, hey, sis. Again, a day one supporter. Happy anniversary, please. Thank you. I be the shit. I see you in there. Brown Skin Beauty, thank you so much. I love you, sis. Thank you for being a supporter. Now, y'all, Valentine's Day. It was a year ago. I dropped my first video. I was very intentional in doing that. Why? I love Valentine's Day. It's probably my second favorite holiday, or that and Christmas. They run neck and neck. Why? I love love. Although I have not been the most fortunate in romantic love, I love love. I like to see people in love. I like all forms of love. And I just like to see people happy and living their best life and joyful, right? So for me, as a little girl, Valentine's Day, my dad would get me some things. I would feel special. Back in the day, they used to let you get how people get deliveries at work. You could get deliveries at school, honey. Balloons, flowers, the stuffed teddy bear inside the balloon. And I just love that feeling. When we were in the office more often, like all week, I would buy things for my coworkers. Because here's the thing, y'all. One reason why I wanted to make this day a celebration day is that there are so many people who are single, as am I, that get really depressed or get down on themselves and think like, oh, this sucks. Everybody's posting all of these things and I'm over here alone. Don't do that. Don't do it to yourself and don't let other people do it to you. Like, I used to hear stories about women sending themselves stuff at the office. I'm like, girl, could never. Like, like why? Don't drive anything, anyone, don't, excuse me, let anyone or anything drive you to feel that insecure in yourself. You do not have to put on for these people, because half of these people, some of them, excuse me, I won't say half, but that are getting these flowers are getting all kind of other things at home and miserable in their everyday life. So if you are happy and coupled, that is wonderful. If you are single, be happy. You don't have to be part of a couple to celebrate yourself, your friends, your family members, your parents, your children, your loved ones. This is a day of love. And as a person who tries to be fairly, woke, I do a lot of research on holidays. And so you also have that segment of our community that's like, you shouldn't celebrate any holidays. These are pagan rituals. These are pagan holidays. Uh, Pretty much we can find a horrible thing that has happened in our history on any day. Quit letting people take away your joy. If you know that the true reasons why you celebrate this day and what it means to you, that's all that needs to be known. You don't have to explain yourself. It's like sometimes people want to be so woke and so aware and so informed that they just take all of the joy and fun out of life. That's no way to live. It won't be me, and I don't want it to be you. So I'm going to do a quick, y'all know we like to educate and entertain over here. Some of you may already know these things, but I just want to let you know there are several different types of love, right? There are so many. Find one, choose one, love it. Don't feel like you have to be left out. The first one, philia, which is brotherly or sisterly love. That's the love that you have for your friends. We may know this because Philadelphia is the city of brotherly love. So whether or not you got something, a romantic partner, you can always take this time, use this day. Yes, let me get this out of the way. You're supposed to treat people good every day. You're supposed to show people you love them every day. You absolutely should. But you also can do something a little extra special or something, or just even call or text and let them know I'm thinking of you today. The next type of love is storge. Make sure I'm saying that one right. Storge, excuse me. And that is the familial love. It's the example, excuse me, is the love that a parent has for a child and the love that a child has for their parent, vice versa. Any type of familial love, you can show that to people today. Philautia is self-love. Now, this, of course, can go one or two ways because we know our ego, right? Our ego is a big thing. You can have a strong sense of pride. You can show compassion, grace for yourself. But sometimes people, go a little bit too far with the philautia and it turns into narcissism, ego-driven, things like that. But we're talking about positivity today, right now. And so think of this time to give yourself affirmations. If you're a single person, treat yourself. Before you become part of a healthy partnership, you have to learn how to love you and be one with you. So if that means going to a movie, wear your mask. If that means going to a restaurant, wear your mask except for when you're eating. Yeah. Like, love yourself today. Eros, of course, is passionate romantic love. That's what most people think of when they think about love. They want to be out here doing grown people things later on tonight, and that is great as well. Love your partner, respect your partner if you are partnered. And the last type of love that I'm going to cover, there are actually more, but I chose the 5 that were most pertinent to that I felt people really needed to know and understand is agape. And agape love, if you are a believer like I am, if you believe in God, any higher power usually tells you to love others as you love yourself. This is a universal love for all mankind. Ideally, this is the most pure, selfless, the most unconditional type of love that there is. And that's what we should always, in my opinion, strive to be, right? We should always strive to have that type of love for others. I know it's hard. I know it's not the easiest thing to do, but use today to think about all of these ways that you can show love to others. And like I said, not just today. I believe, at least I try to be a good person wherever I go, to whoever I meet. You never know when you're entertaining angels unaware. So whether it's the janitor at your job, whether it's the store clerk, whether it's the fast food driver, everybody can have a bad day, but try not to just take your day out and your mood out on others, right? We want to make sure that we are bringing good energy to this world because it's always negativity. It's always ugliness. That's one reason why a lot of people don't want to watch the news. It's like murder, robbery, kidnapping. The international news is going crazy right now. The panorama, we have been under siege for 2 years now. It's hard out here. Don't make it harder for people, y'all. So that's my gratitude for you all. I love you all for rocking with me, for staying with me. And really try to make this day a good day for you and any of the people that you may love. You don't have to buy things, you all. A small text to say I'm thinking about you, a card, their favorite little piece of candy. It doesn't have to be chocolate. I don't like chocolate, honestly. It's not my favorite candy every now and again, but so just think about something that makes people smile and happy or yourself and do that. So now let's move into some of this other stuff. Gratitude, grace, growth, and other goings on, right? So let's talk about a little growth and grace. Where have I been? Everybody's like, where are you? Where are you? Where have you been? Child, working, working, working day and night. Hey, I've been working. I have been, as I said before, protecting my peace. I have been setting some boundaries, but I honestly do miss when I was setting up this video. I was like, oh, Jesus, I haven't been in StreamYard in a few months. I kind of forgot a few things and how to do it, but I'm definitely back. I'm coming back. I'm setting up a schedule. I kind of wanted to start a fresh year, make my anniversary, and as I've said before, move onward and upward. We at Scared of Beautiful, me, have moved on a long time ago, but sometimes you just gotta clear the air of everything. Also, as some of you all know, if you've watched some of my previous videos, I had an aunt that passed away suddenly. That has been hard, y'all. Grief is hard. And I kind of fell into a space where, other than work and the things that I have to do every day, caring for my family, talking to some close friends and stuff like that, I really didn't want to do much else. The other thing is, when you are grieving, right? Sometimes what I talked about earlier with misplaced anger and misdirected things, sometimes other people will get the brunt of everything else that's going on in your life. It's not even necessarily that I'll say, for example, I try to be very intentional with the energy that I put in the world. If I covered some of the stuff that happened on Love and Marriage Huntsville when it was going on, it was going to be a lot of unnecessary slugs, right? Because I can read down when I want to. And I just didn't feel like putting that type of energy, because then this is reality stuff, but these people are people too. So I didn't want to get on here just going off on people and reading people and talking about people negatively when it might not have actually been what they did. It was just that I was irritated. And sometimes when you're irritated, every little thing irritates you. Like when I did the Ariane Curry, my take on her interview with Tasha K, I talked about how Melody's voice started to irritate me, and some people weren't happy with that in my comments. But one, I'm always going to be honest and truthful to myself, and two, that's my opinion. Her voice really started to bother me last season, and it was not just her voice. It was the fact that every scene, pretty much, she was arguing with someone, be it Martell, be it Destiny, taking up for Tiffany, Tisha, whatever. It was just draining. I feel like there was a sort of bait and switch with that show. I really was excited to see, and have been watching it since the beginning. So I was excited to see 3 Black couples making moves in real estate. Some of you all know, but for you all who don't, I am a housing attorney. That's what I do. So it's exciting for me to see Black couples talking about buying up land and being a commercial builder and being a residential builder. That is so great. And with any show, of course, you need some drama, but the drama took over the show to where, for me, it wasn't enjoyable anymore. The same thing with Ladies Who List Atlanta. I considered reviewing that show. I really wanted to love that show. I have barely seen I guess we've seen 4 houses at this point. All I see is women saying they want to come together, saying they want to dominate, but they can't get past the pettiness. I don't want to watch this every week. I don't. And be clear, y'all, when I say stuff, please don't take it as an attack, right? Some people hear things and they think that I'm talking down to them. I am not. I'm just telling you where I am. And if you still enjoy these shows, if you still really consider it entertainment, great. But I'm moving to a space in my life where I need more balance, right? Again, you need a little drama to keep people tuned in. But when every show is somebody cussing somebody out or about to come to blows or being fake friends and throwing out things that you were told in confidence or in a vulnerable moment, I don't. So anyway, that's where I have been. I have been trying to step back, gather myself, and really see what I want to do with this platform that God has given me. You all have given me your attention. I honestly appreciate it and respect it. And I want to make sure that I'm putting out good things that I can be proud of, but that also ultimately the culture will be proud of, right? So that's where I am. I learned a lot of lessons. People like, what have you learned? This your first year. You learned some lessons. I learned a lot of lessons, right? What I'm kind of talking about, right now is struggling with people pleasing. and really trying to decide if I want to be a slave to the algorithm or if I want to be true to myself. Yes, I could come on here and do legal content as a Black woman, and because of the legal niche, people who do legal topics, people who do finance topics, people who do tech topics, people who do gaming topics. Those are the 4 highest paid niches on YouTube. So, whereas someone who just does blogs or gossip or tea or whatever it is, commentary type channels, you may get a CPM, which is how YouTube pays content creators, $12, $15, $20. Someone doing finance or legal topics, they're going to get like $40 per, and CPM is cost per mil. So it's per 1,000 views that you get to your ads, not the actual video. That's how you're getting paid. $40 per 1,000 or $10 per 1,000, blah, blah, blah. I'm getting into the weeds. That's neither here nor there. So there's lots more money to be made in certain sectors. But as I've said from the beginning, if you're new here, I'm not doing this for the money. And honestly, I'm a type of person, Oprah has said it, other people have said it, and people take it as oh, that's just a cliche, but it's actually true. In my life, I have found money will come and go, right? When you do something that you love, money will come. I'm not a person who chases and values money. Not saying I don't need it. Clearly I do to live. But it is not a primary motivator for me. Other people, it's a primary motivator for them. And that's not a bad thing either. One thing that we have to get out of is expecting other people to value what we value. The only way that really matters is if you are in intimate or business relationship with them. If you are not, y'all, let people live. Let people do them. If they are not hurting other people, and I'll get to that in a minute, because there's some stuff that actually hurts people. But otherwise, if they're not hurting you or hurting others by spreading misinformation or misleading information or false information or things like that, don't do that. I saw some stuff going on YouTube, and I made that video. Woo-hoo. But I pulled it back. I sat on it. I decided not to release it. Because, when I get in my bag, and when I really want to educate and talk on a point, I do it. But I just decided it wasn't the best route to take. But I will talk about some of the behaviors that I saw going on. And it was because someone didn't want what someone else was selling. People started attacking this person and saying, "Oh, you're lazy. Oh, you don't want to level up. Oh, you don't want to." And what people don't understand is, if YouTube is a outlet for you, if it's another stream of income, at the end of the day, it's still work. Preparing a video, putting out content. Again, if you're doing it right, there's research. There's hours of doing graphics. I don't pay anybody to do this. Making graphics, making thumbnails, doing the little clips when I do those, and be funny sometimes. Making an edited video, a quality edit video, is time consuming, but even a live is time consuming. So it's one thing to say, "Oh, you should do this." You also can get a Discord. You can get a Patreon. You can get your own app, your own whatever. Those things are all wonderful. And I'm not saying that they can't come with time, but you also have to understand that that is more work. And if someone says, "I'm happy and content with where I am," yes, that could net me more money, but that also means that's less time from my child. That's less time from my husband. That's less time for me. You have to also have self-time. You also have to have sleep. We're in this drive that you see all over different platforms, Instagram, TikTok, everywhere, the great resignation. But even before the great resignation, there was this push towards entrepreneurship, right? And I love it. Absolutely. Be your own boss. Do what you need to do, but also know what comes with that. Can't be out here being somebody's boss half stepping. And that includes being your own boss, even if you don't have employees. You know, people are trying to convince people or talk people that this should be your job, this should be what you do. I'll tell you, in my 1 year experience, nope, 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 nope. You can grow it there, but y'all, please don't quit your job to start a YouTube channel. Don't, don't. There are exceptions to a rule. There are very exceptional people. There are anomalies that start a channel and have rocket levels of growth, right? That is not the average YouTuber. I would venture to say less than 2% of content creators get that level of growth. And I'll tell you, I watched one content creator and I actually made a comment one time because they were kind of comparing themselves, and we all do it. We all are guilty of it, myself included. But I tried to give her a tip, and for some reason, people like, look, y'all, I have learned that no matter what you say and how clear you say it, people are going to take things the way they take it, and that is their issue and not yours. Somebody responded to my comment that I was being like the positivity police, that I basically told her, just be positive. That's absolutely not what I said. What I said was, whenever I'm researching or I'm looking at someone's channel and I see they have a 1 million view video or they have 300,000 subscribers or whatever, the first thing I do is go to their videos and I order them from the oldest, because that helps your perception. You think because of this fast living, everybody's going to blow up and be a billionaire society that we live in, that people just are famous overnight. When you look at most people, you will see that they've been doing this 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. And there are some people, I watch Terrell Geist, he has hit 1 million subscribers in 3 years. He also has an A&R background. He also came from the music industry. So you have to be realistic with yourself. I'm not telling you that you can't get in this and blow, because I can be honest. I know my growth has been stunted because I haven't been consistent. That's number one. You looking to grow on YouTube, you looking to do this thing, you got to be consistent, number one. But more than being consistent, because there are also some people, y'all see them, we all know them and see people all around, no matter what part of YouTube you go in. You will see people that have been grinding consistently 2, 3 years and are stuck at 5,000 subscribers, at 10,000 subscribers. So, yes, there are methods. Yes, there are things that you can do. But whenever you're teaching someone or advising someone, you have to be transparent. And you have to be honest with your own self and how you grew and what you did. I've seen a few channels, mainly in the manosphere and some other places, some of the gossip and tea channels, where they get super chats out the wazoo. Like, people are throwing money at them, just throwing. And that's no tea, no shade. Like, it is what it is. But when you watch the vast majority of channels, that doesn't happen. And if you want to know, YouTube keeps 30% of any super chat, super sticker, whatever membership that you may, how you may choose to support a content creator like that. For ads, YouTube takes 45% and the content creator gets 55%. So someone who is just running their channel based on ads, you know, they actually may make more money than someone who is doing lives but is not getting a lot of super chats. But if you do lives and you get a lot of super chats, then 70% is clearly better than 55%. So of course you're going to make more money. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. That's just something that I've seen, lessons that I've learned. Y'all, I have been on YouTube, not on YouTube, but a YouTube, I don't know, member, whatever you call it. Like I've had a YouTube login since 2006. It started in 2005. I really didn't even realize I had been on as close to when it started. And I'm an avid YouTube person, starting from probably like 2008. I went through this whole phase with natural hair and with makeup and all of the things, all of the Jackie Ayanna, I always say her name wrong. All of the who did I used to love? Beautiful Brown Baby Doll. Whitney, I can't think of Whitney's YouTube channel name right now. Natural 85. So many people that I used to follow and wait for them to drop a new tutorial or drop a new, oh my God, I need a new deep conditioner. I was a product junkie. I stayed in the store between YouTube and long hair care forum, y'all, buying up all of the products when I decided to go natural. Then I got out of that phase and moved into kind of Happy Planner. When I got into Happy Planner, organizing, things like that. I was always, in terms of housewife stuff, it was only Funky Dineva. Later on, I got into DJ Richie Sky. And then other than that, when I stopped kind of taking trips to the casino sometimes, I would watch slot channels. Interesting tip. People like to say that there's only beef in certain sectors. That's not true. I have seen beef in the slot channel section, which is very interesting to me. I have seen beef in the hair care section, very interesting as well. I think, unfortunately, disagreements, we'll call it that, are a natural part of life. So this narrative that this only happens over here and it don't happen over there, it's not true. You just aren't over there to see it. Also, most people have their argument and they move on. The ongoing beef is something different. But there are disagreements everywhere you go. It's a byproduct of being human. Everybody's never gonna, we're not gonna see eye to eye all the time. So if I were to tell somebody who was thinking about starting a YouTube channel, would I do it again? Yes. Would I do it differently? Absolutely. Group projects can be very good. I've seen people saying, "Oh, we want to create a community. We want to support each other. You go to my channel and I go to your channel." That's great, especially if you already know the person. But if not, you should always do your due diligence. I did not do mine. That is my fault. But you should always do your due diligence and have behind the scenes conversations and actually get to know people and make sure that you all are on the same page and you have the same vision. But as much as like being in a group can help you grow, ironically with YouTube, it can actually also limit you because of how the algorithm works, right? When you get into groups, and people who are content creators know this on the back end. You start to see the same people in chats and the same people in your purview. So you are not growing in the algorithm if new people aren't getting eyes to your page. So if you're going to do a collaboration, look deep before you leap. And two, make sure that this is something that will help you in the long run. You can absolutely do collaborations with people in your same sector, but also sometimes you have to venture out. And sometimes you have to really work on, at the end of the day, y'all, YouTube is a search engine. When you Google things now, YouTube videos pop up. So you have to make sure that your content is searchable. So, for example, the video that I'm doing right now, people aren't coming on here typing in Scared of Beautiful YouTube anniversary. Mm-hmm. Not doing it. Right? You know, if I want people to just flat out watch this video, I should have led with, oh, I'm going to be talking about the Super Bowl, Super Bowl 2022 reaction, or Super Bowl 2022, my thoughts, whatever. If you're truly looking to grow and push your videos out there, right? All of these things that I'm telling you all, with the exception of my personal learned experience, my bought sense, you all can search. That whole month after I initially set up my channel, before I released my first video on February 14th, 2021, I spent hours writing, researching things, how to grow on YouTube. I wanted to know what people, when they got monetized, how long it took them to get monetized, what the best paying niches were, topics, thumbnails, what the best recording equipment was. Also, as the new YouTuber, don't think that you need to go out and buy the best camera, the best lighting, the green screen. If that is what you want, absolutely. But if you're somebody like me where this is a hobby, you may want to wait and see if your content is reaching people, if you are growing your audience, if you even get monetized, before you start investing in all of those things. Also, just because everybody else has it does not mean you have to have it. I see people's green screens and I'm like, oh wow, that's so pretty. It's not me. I don't want a green screen. Different background. Yes, all of that's coming, but you have to be true to you. That's the biggest thing in content creation. Be authentic. Be true to you. There are 1,000 people out here talking about the same thing. What is going to make people listen to you? What is going to make people like you? What is going to make people drawn into you and want to give you their watch hours, right? So that's just some of my basic 1 year low level experience. Y'all, I am not an expert, nor do I claim to be, and probably won't be, because this is a hobby. But just know that if you do the work, you can find a lot of tips and tricks on your own. I may do a Q&A one day if people have some more questions or more in-depth, because I know I'm just kind of glossing over things. But, just make sure that this is something you really want to do. And if you become consistent and if you blow up, absolutely, you can quit that job. Once you have your money right, you have a good accountant who is saying, yes, this is sustainable. Yes, we have enough in savings. We have enough investment. Yes, like, you can do this. You have some sponsors, girl. You have this, you have, you can do it. But just YouTube, In AdSense, one last thing I'm gonna say, YouTube is notoriously not stable, meaning it's volatile. That's what I really meant. You could have a month where you're making $2,000. Your check for that month is $2,000. The next month might be 500. The next month might be 1,000. And again, there are whole channels where people will do a year in review. What YouTube paid me last year. And you will see, even the big content creators, they may have 4,000 one month, they may have 6,000 another month, they may have 2,000 another month. And it's all because one, life can happen. You could get sick. People just aren't feeling your content that week or that month. There are lots of things that can happen. So, is this a good, viable, additional stream of income? In my opinion, yes. I don't think it should be the end all be all, especially not early on, right? Next, let's talk about grace, right? So, in this first year of YouTube, I was really tested in a lot of ways, but grace was definitely one of them. And when I'm talking about grace, I'm definitely meaning grace for myself as well as grace for others. In that first video, if y'all missed it, go check it out. It's back there. I haven't done that many videos, so you can say. I think it's one of the first ones that pops up when you go to my channel. But I kind of talked about what I saw and what my vision was for this channel, and how I struggled in the past with perfectionism. And I wanted to, talk about these things and reach women, men, whoever, reach an audience that also maybe struggle with some of those things. It's a constant battle, right? So I'll get in places where I'm like, you're not doing enough. You should do more. You really need to do this. YouTube moves fast. You got to get that video out. What are you doing? You took too long. The moment has passed. Can't put it out now. Right? You have to give yourself grace in all things that you do, but especially if you are venturing into this content creator world, right? Take time, be yourself, make sure that you're putting out a quality product, and you'll make mistakes. It's life. You pick yourself up, you live and you learn. You have to have grace for others if you choose to do collaborations, if you choose to work with others. It is what it is. Sometimes it goes good, sometimes it goes bad. Always give grace. If something happens where it's so big you can't bother with the person anymore, learn how to let go. And this is just a life tip. Sometimes, y'all, we just have to let things go with no closure. It happened. You move on. You don't have to keep engaging, re-engage, go back and forth. There were plenty of times within the last year where I wanted to pop off. I wanted to respond. I wanted to say things. There were narratives that still persist. But it is what it is. One thing you will learn in life, people who are like dead set on disliking you or misinterpreting you, they're going to do it. No matter what you say, how you say it, you can be as straightforward and honest as possible. They will twist and manipulate and reword and present. That's life. The thing is, the more you try to push against it, the more you give them. Right? If I get on here and I respond to every single thing, and there was a time, y'all, when I got tired of hearing my own name. Like, jeez Louise. But what was I going to do? it was something way bigger than me that I did not foresee happening. And so I was clear. God was like, nope, pipe down. You said what you had to say. That's it. Move on. Because the more you feed it, it's going to multiply. So just let it go. It was a very hard thing. I'm not telling you it's easy. And people who are my friends or acquaintances, I should say, my YouTube people who I do talk to, they know. You know, we would talk and I would tell them, like, I'm just ready to be done. I'm ready to move on. I'm ready to do my content and do what I came here to do. This is a whole nother monster that I don't even know where it came from. But I'm not going to get on here and windmill every 5 seconds. And I will tell you that's a lot for me. Because normally I don't. And sometimes, you know, we have to go through things to get where we need to be. And when you learn that you do not have to respond to every attack that comes against you, you're over a hurdle. So learn a lesson. Sometimes, right, you don't have to go through stuff to learn a lesson. Sometimes you do. But sometimes you can learn stuff from just watching what other people have been through. So the lesson that I want you to hear, amongst all the others that I have shared, is you do not always have to respond. People who like you, people who see your character, people who understand what it's like will understand. And there will be those that won't. And that's fine too. Most people see things from their level of maturity and their perception. And that's all you can do. You move forward with your tribe and you let the rest fall where it may. So, if you want to get into a platform like this, just know it won't be all sunshine and roses. You have to decide if it's worth it for you. And if something happens, let it go. You know, address it if you feel you need to address it, and then move forward. And I will tell you, anyone who really knows me knows that this is...
You know what that is? It's growth. You know what that is? It's growth. You know what that is? It's growth.
It's growth. It's growth. It is definitely 38-year-old growth because, baby, 28-year-old. I remember I was a lightweight keyboard, what you call them? Keyboard terrorist or whatever. Like, I used to read news articles. I still read news articles now. And I just look at the comments and I'm like, Jesus, there were lots of children left behind. But before, like 10 years ago, I would be in the comments typing down, no, this is not what this is, and blah, 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 and how dare you, blah, 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 blah. I don't know these people. They don't know me. I cannot teach them about racism or about whatever it is, sexism, feminism, whatever the isms, colorism. I can't teach them about any of this stuff from behind a keyboard. You'll learn that. You protect your peace. You let people go where they go. There are lots of times when I want to step up. Like I said, I wanted to do this whole video because I saw a lot of stuff going on. And I'm going to talk about it quickly. But it was like, no, do not do that. If you do that, you are going to open up another crap storm because people have divided into like these teens and camps and I again things that I don't understand as an adult. Most of us that I see in the comments and other places on YouTube, we are fully grown adults. I don't understand this like teenage mentality, this pick a side. If I'm down for you, I gotta be down for you. There is no nuance. There is no, hey, I really ride with you, but this was kind of wrong. Or hey, brother, I see what you're trying to do there. Good look. Let me give you a little constructive criticism. People don't take that well on YouTube. It's like you're with me or you're against me. And I just don't understand that mindset because that's not life. No one is above reproach. I hope you don't think you are. And honestly, it's kind of scary because, again, if Jesus or God ain't your Lord and Savior, no disrespect, but whoever your higher power is, Allah, Buddha, if you're a Hindu, a person who practices Hinduism, whatever. But a lot of people don't even follow their higher power the way they follow like people made of flesh and blood. Everybody can make a mistake, y'all. So as we're showing grace to people, you also don't have to like run a person down. I made a brief comment about the trial of the YouTube century, Tasha K and Cardi B. And it was mainly because people were irritating me, saying that she was found guilty and like saying she was gonna get jail time and stuff. And I'm like, what are y'all talking about? Like, no, she's not. A civil trial and the consequences thereof very different from a criminal trial and the consequences thereof. And someone commented, I didn't respond to a comment, but I saw your comment, sis. And they were like, oh, this person tried to break you or destroy you or something. And here you are taking up for them. And I'm like, one, I wasn't necessarily taking up. I was clarifying the legal term. But two, yeah, nobody, God is in control of what happens to me and what goes on and things like that. And that's been 6 months ago. So I mean, I don't know what I was supposed to do with that. And as someone who went through something where there were hundreds of videos made, I didn't really feel the need to pile in with another video. There are so many videos and so many people giving their perspective on the topic. And in a minute, I'll talk to you briefly about one piece that I would touch on if I were to do, but I'm not because I don't want to do what everybody else is doing. No, and again, that's no shade. Like, this is how YouTube works. If you talk about the trending topics, I just so happen to cherry pick what I want to talk about. I didn't want to talk about that topic. It was not interesting to me. And there were enough people out here covering that topic. The only place, like I said, was that it was more so the legal knowledge. And I saw a fairly good amount of attorneys kind of giving their input on it. So I didn't feel the need to jump on and pile in as well. Hey, 2B Black Native, welcome back, sis. Where have you been? Oh, girl, you gotta watch the video. But basically, I've been working and living my best life and trying to decide where I want this channel to go. So I've been kind of talking about this the whole time. So with that being said, y'all, the whole point of that is just give grace to yourself, give grace to others, learn how to let things go. Sometimes you won't get a resolution. Sometimes you won't get the quote unquote closure that you need, but move on. Protect your peace. It doesn't make sense to get involved in a back and forth, tit for tat thing that just is never ending. For what? Then people go way too far. I was a victim of doxing. Other people I see have been doxed. It's not cool. Stop doing that to people, y'all. What happens on the internet, what happens on YouTube, leave it there. There's no reason to try to blow up somebody's where they work or put out their full name. If that person didn't give their full name, respect them and address them as they want to be addressed. That's it. That's all. Like it's just so much that, again, just from watching YouTube for the years that I've watched it, I did not know actually happened until I became a content creator. And there are people who will not believe that. They're like, "Oh no, you must have known." I didn't. Because the things that I watch, again, I watch YouTube for very specific reasons. When I cut the cord to my cable, I was on YouTube watching Judge Mathis and Divorce Court because that's what I like. Um, YouTube can be a great place, a very educational place. As a single woman, I have to do things sometimes with my car. I don't like going to a mostly male dominated industry and feeling like someone's going to take advantage of me or give me an unfair price or unfair quote. So what do I do when I'm having car trouble? I go to AutoZone where they can read codes for free, the same codes that somebody will try to charge you $150, $200 for to do a diagnostic. Then I use my smartphone or my computer and I Google that code in my car. And I look at articles and see what other people think may have happened or may be wrong. And there's a wonderful thing called YouTube videos. This actually happened recently where my car was making a certain sound. I found a YouTube video of a man who was fixing his wife's car, and his wife had recorded the sound. Guess what? It was the same sound my car was making. Now I am armed with knowledge. Now I can go to a mechanic and say, I need this. And they're going to try to, oh, well, how you know it's that? And well, if I fix that and it turns out to be something else, it's not going to be my fault. It's not, sir. I asked specifically for this. How much will you charge for this? That's it. So there's so much that you can learn. There's so much fun you can have. I don't want y'all to think, oh, you can't have fun. Plez, you so serious. You can't. No, I love to have fun. I love to laugh and joke. That's all I do outside of work. But some things for me are just not jokes, right? So with that being said, give people grace. Howsoever, don't be a fool. Always stand up for yourself. But also, one thing that I see a lot on YouTube that I do not like and that I must speak on briefly is, y'all, we have to stop letting people manipulate us, right? Stop. I see manipulation not just on YouTube, on social media in general at an all-time high. And that's why I feel like we're in this matrix of sorts. Dick Gregory made a comment one time that, like, it's hard being a person that God has given discernment to, or, when the blinders are taken off, because you can't put them back on. And sometimes I watch things and I wonder, like, are me and the other people, are we watching the same thing? Because they don't seem to see what I see. And it bothers me. One, it bothers me that people don't really want to do a little extra work and do research and learn things for themselves. If you're a frequent person on my channel, y'all know I've said this in many videos, even and particularly where the church is concerned. As a spiritual person, a religious person, your relationship with God is yours. Do not rely on your pastor, on some social media pastor, on whoever, your parents, to tell you what the Bible says or whatever book governs your religion. Don't do that. Because when you do that, You set up the space to allow yourself to be manipulated. People will tell you anything sometimes if they're not a good person, if they're not a sound person, to fit their narrative, to get you to do what they want you to do. And a lot of times it's in the name of money or power or glory or whatever. You know, when I have taken breaks from YouTube, particularly last summer, I had so many people inboxing me, "Where are you? Your name is trending. This is the time to get your name out here, to get your content out here." I didn't care. I was grieving and dealing with something with my family. I could care less about chasing a algorithm or trend. So you have to watch when people are telling you things, when people are promoting you to do things, why are they doing it? And that's not to say that you can't trust some people, that some people don't have good intentions, but always really check your heart, check your conscience, and see how things feel to you. And I mean that even with me. I'm not telling you to follow me blindly. Please do not. But I see a lot of people, like I said before, jumping on these teams and these alliances and all of this stuff. And really, it's a lot of people manipulating people who do not have knowledge or discernment or vision and getting them to quote unquote be sheep. And it's so funny because some of these same people will tell you not to be sheep, but they really want you to be a sheep, but only for them. You got to watch that, right? I talk about psychology and emotional intelligence a lot because it's real. And it is honestly where a lot of this stuff comes from, is childhood trauma. You're so desperate to be part of a crowd. You're so desperate to belong. You're so desperate to be popular, be accepted, that sometimes people will just be accepted anywhere just to be accepted. You see the phenomenon all the time with boys and gangs, especially fatherless boys. They just want somebody to love them, and the streets love them. Or similarly, young girls who get into the sex trade with pimps. They want somebody to love them. And as much as people think, "Oh, well, I'm an adult, I'm not a kid anymore," I don't feel that. You may not be aware that you feel it. You may not be at a place where you're ready to be honest with yourself and say that that's what drives it, but really that's what drives it. And if you would take some time and go to therapy and be vulnerable a little bit, you could get to the bottom of it. That's why I'm like so sad that Iyanla is still not on TV. I know some of y'all don't like Iyanla, but I'm just saying, for the space that she filled in TV, it was a very necessary space. Again, you don't have to go through it to learn lessons from other people. So anyway, emotional intelligence is very important. Being aware is important, but more than emotional intelligence is emotional discipline. That is a lesson that I had to learn and that I'm still learning, right? Because it's one thing to be emotionally intelligent. You're aware, you can sense things, you can relate to other people, you can give grace to other people. Emotional discipline, though, is recognizing when things happen and not letting it move you. And when I say move you, not letting it manipulate and control you and get those knee-jerk reactions. For example, there was a situation with someone, and this is what I want to specifically say where it comes with emotional discipline. I need us to stop letting people weaponize our race and gender. And I mean that on both sides, right? One reason when I get on YouTube and I have to stay away sometimes is when I am just kind of venturing and looking for other content that I'm interested in, that I just want to watch as a viewer. As a single woman, I will be honest, it's very hard. Because if you let YouTube tell it, there's an outright war against black men and black women. I don't understand it. I don't know where it came from. It's like no one had healthy mothers or fathers. No one has ever had a loving relationship. No one. It is an all out war. And I do not understand it. And again, like I said early on, if you continue to watch and ingest that stuff, it will feed your narrative. So I have to step away sometimes and get back in the real world with my real male friends who are dope and good men, with my real uncles and brothers and father who are good men, with my friends or just some of my coworkers. Because if you watch YouTube only and other types of social media, all you ever see is black men and black women going at each other negatively. What I like to say, what I was raised on, is having in-house conversations in the public. Some things we don't need to make public because at the end of the day, the internet is the internet. This is the World Wide Web. Other people are watching this. And I don't know, I know some people feel like this is intentional. These people are sent here to do this on purpose. I don't know if they are or they aren't. I would hope they aren't doing this on purpose. But again, some people will do anything for money. I honestly think some of them honestly feel what they are saying. But either way, it's not healthy. It's not healthy coming from black women. It's not healthy coming from black men. One case where I saw it, there was I'll say a disagreement between content creators. And one content creator said, "Don't like this man. He only sleeps with or dates white women." Stop right there. That person is trying to get an emotional reaction out of you as a black woman. Why? Because they know for some black women, black men who solely date outside of their race, that's a trigger. That's a problem. So that person was wrong. She was wrong for using that. That's a low blow and a cheap argument. I don't like people who use stuff. When people want to argue with me, "Oh, she fat." I am, girl. Next. I don't know what you want me to tell you. Like, that doesn't move me. But then the man who that was directed at comes back later on and says, "Well, this black woman always talks about black women, but when she got in trouble, she went and got a white woman to help her." Now, turnabout is fair play, right? Okay, she said something about him, so he said something about her. But when you boil it down, both people are doing the same thing. They're doing the same thing. They are both manipulating you and using your womanhood and your race to attack another person. And why we got black people out here doing this to each other, I don't know, but keep me far away from it. You can have a disagreement with a person and keep it to that person and not make it about black people as a whole. When you do that, I don't know, I look at you differently. Because you're literally using the same tactic against this other person, but somehow trying to sell me that you're different and that you want better for black people, when all of it is poisonous. All of it is unnecessary. Inherent in all of those little arguments is that the other people don't do this. The other people support black business. The other people support their own businesses. Black people don't support black businesses. That's the furthest thing from the truth that I know. Black people are the number one consumers, period. Right? I know plenty of Black men and Black women that support each other all day, every day. I have a train of Black women that surround me and that support me and that lift me up at all times. But we have allowed our own people to come in and do the same thing that outsiders used to do. But some kind of way, we're not supposed to say anything. And then if you say something like I'm doing now and bring attention to it, then you're a hater or we always trying to attack each other and bring down. No, you're calling a thing a thing. There has to be accountability at some point. And I mean accountability for all. Because I know, so a man will see this and be like, well, you only come talking about what the Black man do. What about the Black woman? I just said a Black woman was wrong. And accountability, y'all, means that you call somebody when they're wrong. It doesn't mean you hate them. It doesn't mean you don't like them. But right is right and wrong is wrong. You can love a content creator. You can say they're bomb, they're dope, they got it out the mud, they made a way for themselves and look at all that they have now, and still say, but what she did right here was wrong. What he did right here was wrong. One thing that I kept seeing in the whole trial of the century in the comment section was this steady narrative or group of people that was like, well, what about Cardi? She called Black people a roach. Yeah. Get that red herring out of here. We're not talking about Cardi right now. We're talking about what this person did and how you can learn from this person and not do this, and how this person can grow and learn not to do this again. No one is hating her. No one is trying. Well, I ain't gonna say no one. I don't. But most videos that I saw were not. But a thing is a thing. And if you're wrong, you're wrong. We have to get to a place where we like police ourselves. We keep us in line, not other people. And again, they try to throw out, oh, well, other people don't do that. They absolutely do. If you honestly believe that other races don't have disagreements amongst themselves, don't fight amongst themselves, you hear this argument when people talk about Black on Black crime. They killing up each other. Yes, that is what happens. It's called sociology, and it's community. Most crimes happen within a community. So the United States is very segregated. Even though, allegedly we got rid of segregation, most people live amongst each other. So there's crime in white neighborhoods, there's crime in Black neighborhoods, there's crime in Vietnamese neighborhoods, there's crime in Mexican neighborhoods. And 9 times out of 10, that crime is committed by someone of the same race. You don't see it happen because you don't live over there. You don't commune with those people. So you don't see it happen. But as someone who has worked in spaces with lots of other races, I've seen people embezzle from people, steal from people. I've seen whole coups where people get up and take certain members of a law firm and walk out and start their own law firm and leave their original law firm in shambles. It happens. They don't blindly support somebody's business just because. Last thing, and I'm gonna move on and get to fun stuff. This word support, y'all. Support does not just mean I buy any and every product just because it's Black owned. I'll use an example as eyelashes. I have friends that sell eyelashes. Have I ever bought their eyelashes? Absolutely not. Why? Because I don't wear eyelashes. So, because I'm Black and because people think some people tend to think that the only way you support is by purchasing something from someone. I am expected to buy eyelashes that I don't need, want, or can use. Make that make sense. Believe it or not, sometimes people don't support because they're not interested in your product. And instead of trying to berate people and make them feel guilty because they ain't supporting a black business, how about you focus on marketing to people who want your product, who want to purchase from you? I have friends that, I have, people that I know like on Facebook. I see like little sneak disses and underlined posts, not sneak disses like towards me, but memes or statuses that take that tone of, people don't support you just because it's you, or people won't support. Look, I may not buy it, but if one of my friends is looking for some eyelashes, I may refer you. I may share your post or advertise on my page for you. But actually buy it? No, I'm not buying something that I don't need or want. Furthermore, you should not that's just not what support is. And we have to get out of the thought that if someone doesn't do exactly what you want them to do or doesn't support in a way you think that they should, that they are hating or that they're trying to bring you down. Hating is if I came into the eyelash seller's comments unannounced or uninvited and just said, "Don't buy these eyelashes." Now that's hate. That's hate. But if you ask me why I didn't buy your eyelashes, and I tell you why I didn't buy your eyelashes, that's not hating. You asked and I answered. It's not for me. So, with that being said, I'm using some analogies, y'all. Just keep the gist of the conversation. Be aware of what you are ingesting in this space. Do not let people manipulate you and emotionally pull at your heartstrings to for any reason, really. But don't, if you agree with somebody, you agree with them. If you want to support them, you support them. What I'm talking about is people who, when met with some type of resistance, use something outside of the situation to influence what's going on. For instance, like I said, we're having a one-on-one argument and you say, "Oh, well, you only date white women." Yeah. You're saying that because you want black women to now attack him. Vice versa. We're having a one-on-one argument and you say, "Oh, but you don't support black business and you went got a white lady." Yeah. I'm now using black women to blow you up and say, "You don't support black women," and it just turns into this. This is what I see. This is what I see. So I log out. I get off the YouTube because I'm like, this is craziness. And other people just seem to like, not all people, but in the comments, I just see cheering on. It's honestly like what I envision like used to happen in the old days when people would get like stoned and stuff. Group dynamics and this kind of cult mentality is very interesting and honestly very dangerous. So I'm speaking on it in a roundabout way because I see a lot of it and I just want us to stop. It's not that serious. Take a step back and really be free thinkers and be critical thinkers, but more importantly, be true to yourself and your conscience and what you feel is right and wrong. Not, all of that other stuff, y'all. It's just not. We got real work to do in this world. And honestly, with everything that's been going on these last few years with the panorama, I don't know how people aren't changed. It really showed you that life is short And there's so many other things that we could be doing other than this little silly pettiness. And even if you allow it to entertain you for a minute, let it go and move on. Like, to keep dragging things out and bringing up the person every time you want to make a point. No. So that's it, y'all. I love you all. Thank you for supporting me. I want to really pay my gratitude to you all. Really work on growth as a person. If you want to be a content creator, there is a place for you. Just be true to yourself and be true to your voice. Give grace to yourself, give grace to others. Now, the other goings on, I've already kind of mentioned the channel changes that are going to be coming. I'm not telling y'all I'm never doing reality show reviews. In fact, there are a few shows that I'm absolutely excited about. But that's not all you're going to see here. And I really struggled because I really considered separating my channel and doing a channel specifically for reviews and a channel for my other stuff. But honestly, I don't want to. It's too like it's a lot. And so if you like the additional content, I will love it. And if not, and you only want to see the reviews, I understand that too. I'm happy for the view and the support any way it comes. So, speaking of television shows, I actually had somebody inbox me a little while ago, or I responded a little while ago. I don't know when she sent it, but I know a lot of you all found me from my Married at First Sight reviews. And so she's like, where are you? Like, we're already in, I don't know what episode it's on, 6, 7, whatever. We're in episodes, you know, where's Married at First Sight? Why no Married at First Sight? Well, as I've kind of said in this video, and I've said in previous videos with other shows, Married at First Sight really burned me out these last 2 seasons. And it's so crazy because I have been watching this show from season 1. And somewhere around season 9 with Matt and Amber, it started, I think that was either 9 or 10, but it started going all downhill after that. There was a little bit of reprieve, Coco Roro year with the season in New Orleans. And of course, I'm also partial to that because, you know, if you know, you know, I love New Orleans. So, and also, it was probably one of their most successful seasons in terms of couples actually staying together. Now, I know recently some people have split up, Amelia and Bennett, and some, I think some others are kind of questionable, but at least on its face, it was their probably most successful season. But other than that, y'all, Atlanta season, last season you didn't get a decision day review and some other reviews because honestly, y'all, I didn't watch it. I have not watched a episode this season. Last season, I was so done with Johnny and I can't even think of these people's names right now. Michaela and the dude that I told y'all was trash the whole time, and people was like, no, he's a good guy. I was sitting back with some popcorn when that girl blasted him all over Reddit and YouTube and everywhere else for being with her while he was with Bao and all of these other people and had left Michaela alone. Look, I'm actually really sad because I love the show. The show has a component of drama just based off the premise of the show. You're marrying a stranger. So I don't understand why production has taken the turn that it has chosen to take, because at this point, I just feel like the producers are driving the matches. Unfortunately, they are intentionally matching people who are not compatible. You can often see this just by watching the initial, like how they pick the singles show or whatever. And again, I haven't watched this season's. But even from last season, I knew from the beginning that Johnny and Bao were going to be a bad match. They had points where I was hopeful for them, but I knew it wasn't going to work. And if I can see it with my little bachelor's in psychology and common sense, they should be able to see it as quote unquote seasoned professionals. So the missed matches for me are coming across, and I could be wrong, but it's coming across intentional and it's coming across deliberate. And I honestly think it's trash. Why do I think it's trash? And again, some people will say, well, this is just entertainment. You're taking it too seriously. No, this is love. This is life. This is real. Like, these are real marriages. So to purposefully put someone in a situation where you know they will likely be emotionally and or mentally abused for entertainment, and then every time the person tries to walk away or tries to, say I'm done or I'm out, they're reminded of their contractual obligation. It's not good. And the only way you can really show your displeasure with things like this is to stop watching. So I can't just be on YouTube or somewhere preaching and ranting and raving about how trash it is and how horrible this is if I keep watching it. Because the only thing TV recognizes really is ratings. So until there's really a big outcry and something really bad happens, which I hope doesn't, that's really the only way that this will likely stop. So for me, I can't tell you about future seasons. I just decided this season I was taking a break. When I saw the previews and it looked like somebody was fighting at the wedding or a brunch or something, like actually physically fighting, I said, oh no. Oh no. I will not be spending 2 hours of my time on Wednesday nights watching this and then multiple hours watching it, writing notes, and breaking down how I want to review this for my audience. So I see y'all. It was great to see you giving your opinions. Hey, thank you so much. And like I said, I will still give my opinions on some things, but I just can't support Married at First Sight right now. Like, somebody who the person who inboxed me was like, I wanted to see your thoughts on Chris and Alyssa, and I'm still in some groups on Facebook. So I see people ranting and raving, and my timeline gets taken over by Married at First Sight every Wednesday night as soon as it goes off. But I didn't. I don't. I won't. I know some things in the periphery. It's like that's how popular culture works. It's like Breakfast at Tiffany's or the Breakfast Club and Audrey Hepburn and stuff. I've never watched any of that stuff, but I know about it because of popular culture. So it's the same thing. I kind of have some gist of what's going on, but I'm not going to sit here and pontificate on it because I haven't watched one episode. When I stopped my reviews last season, that's where I stopped watching. Also, they do way too much. Like, all of these preliminary shows and lead ups, like, no one has 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours to watch on end. I will say that I'm happy that my good soror, Keisha Knight Pulliam, is over the kind of after show thing now. I think that's a good look for her. But even that, I haven't watched it. I briefly watched the first one, to just like be supportive, but it didn't make sense to keep watching it because I'm not watching the show. So I just didn't want to get them any ratings, period. Now, fun stuff, like stuff that I actually am excited about. Y'all, I didn't review last season's Ready to Love because, again, I'm trying to be really conscious about the energy that I put out in the world. And honestly, Ready to Love DC was not it for me. I'll just say that I think that's the nicest way I can put it. um, I wasn't enthused by either in anybody really. No one really stood out to me. The things that stood out to me would not have been the nicest things to talk about, or the most socially acceptable. So it's like, do I really want to go there? No. Again, trying to do my best to shine my light and just not be um you know, cutting with my words when I don't have to be. But I do like the new season. This Potomac season has been really good so far. I think they were able to get some really different people. One thing that always kind of gives me pause is when someone is an entertainer or an actor or actress, and I always have to question, are you really in it for love? The first kind of guy, y'all, that they kicked off, it was so funny. But when he was sharing his story about his ex-girlfriend, and she was really liberated and would go to these adult parties and things like that and wouldn't even invite him, I was like, can somebody tell him, please? Tell him, y'all, tell him. If she wasn't inviting you, if she wasn't including you, yeah. But they sent him home. I think the ladies have been making really good choices in who they're going to send home. This last episode that I watched, they sent home, I think his name was Clifton. I liked him visually because he was like a big teddy bear. I like that kind of body build, a good beard and things like that. But he kept talking about how he wasn't really interested in a commitment. Everyone who asked him about marriage or about settling down, he's like, "Oh, I think she want a commitment." Yeah, that's why you're on the show. Y'all quit casting these people who clearly don't want to be in a committed relationship. Just because they're 43, 45, 48 does not mean that they want to be committed. That man did not want to be anybody's husband. And I'm not going to debate it here. I've talked about it before. You will never get me to believe that you just getting a will and some insurance is going to ever reign over an actual marriage license. And if you're going to live together and buy property together and have children together, you may as well get married. That's how I feel. That's me and my house. Now, anybody else who does something, great. But clearly those ladies felt the same way and they sent him about his business. The ladies seem to be really well adjusted, really secure within themselves, which makes for a great show. I don't want this to turn into a cat fight. Now, I think I might be speaking a little too soon because it looks like next episode is going to get a little catty. And I guess, again, we need to paint this picture that people are out here fighting over men, but okay, whatever. So far, I really like the relationships that the women are building. I do believe this kind of happens every season, that you can go after what you want without cutting somebody else down. That's just me. But ultimately it kind of turns into somebody clawing somebody else's eyes out, if not actually physically, verbally. And I just don't think that that's necessary. At the end of the day, so far, none of these couples have actually been sustained. Maybe a couple. I don't know if the Mario dude from the year with Mario and Tandy, I think they may still be together. I know Simone, that's the attorney, and the guy, they didn't even like get together on the show, but they got together afterwards. They have a YouTube channel. I've seen it. They're together. But for the most part, those couples don't seem to stay together and make it. Oh, thank you, Auntie Eva. She said it's Cornelius, not Clifton. Yes, Cornelius was the one who did not ever want to be ready. So I'm really excited about this season. I don't know if I'm gonna jump in and start reviewing it. We will see, but I do really like the season. For those who wanted to know my thoughts on that, Love and Marriage Huntsville, I see is getting ready to come back out. And honestly, because of the reunion and because of the interview with Ariana Curry sharing her truth, honey, I'm actually excited, at least to beginning. So I'm going to start reviewing it when it comes on. I can't promise y'all that I'm sticking with it. I just hope, at least from the previews, it at least looks like we'll be seeing more of the other couples, and it won't just be the Melody and Martell toxic show. Because again, when we talk about accountability, another thing that I wanted to say about last season, I get it. I'm a woman. We got to stick together. But I believe that truth is just truth. I'm a truth teller. I get in lots of trouble for being a truth teller. I have my whole life, but I don't know any other way to be. Martell did what he did. We know he's a dog. We know she divorced him, rightfully so. But there were lots of scenes and instances last season where Melody was poking the bear unnecessarily. And I know that people don't want to hear that. And I know that people think, well, he did her wrong and he was doing that for 5 years, so he deserved what he get. Nah, I don't think that. Because ultimately, again, these are real people. More importantly, they have real children that will have to live with this and watch this and see this. So for them to be constantly going at it at every turn, no matter what there were things that he said that was completely wrong. I'm not talking about when he was wrong, but I'm talking about when they were just in Vegas or, purposefully bringing up the song or the video or what he said about the friend who made the video. Again, I feel like Melody was in her production bag and she wanted to make the show super dramatic. And not just her interactions with Martell, but her interactions with Destiny and with everyone. I started to not care for her personality when I used to be 10 toes down. Melody Holt all day. Last season, I really started to see a side of her where I'm just like, no. And I know, when you like somebody, you're supposed to be, that's my girl, blah, blah, blah. Y'all, I think, again, like I said, this whole kind of cult mentality, y'all, them people like Tisha. I'm not a Tisha person. I'm a Kimmy. I've been saying this for years. I'm a Kimmy. I rock with you. And I may not tell you in public, girl, now you shouldn't have done that. You need to do better. I'm a give my good girlfriends that grace. But behind the scenes, we're getting it together. My friends get me together. My friends, when I call them and say, I want to do a video about this and I'm going off about this, they say, calm down, think about it, pray about it. When I want to just blow up or go off, or when I'm mad at somebody, did you look at it from this perspective? People don't think like you. People aren't like you. Part of your problem is you expect people to be you. You need that. Y'all can't surround yourself with yes men all the time. Your friends, your tribe, like people who love you are supposed to sharpen you and make you better. That's all I know. That's all I know how to be. I don't want somebody that's just everything I do is gold. Everything I do, oh girl, yeah, girl, you should do more of that when you out here looking a whole fool. So, I can't be one of those people, and I can't be friends with people who want me to uphold them in all of their wrongs. We've had this discussion before. I don't do ride or die. I'm loyal, but if I give you some advice, or you ask me for my counsel on something and you keep doing you, at some point I have to know that that's going to rub off on me, whether I like it or not. That's part of group work. You can do you, but if somebody else is over here doing this all the time, eventually you get lumped in with the group. That sucks. So I'm excited about Love and Marriage Huntsville. Hopefully, we will see more. I did see that there will be a Love and Marriage Huntsville around DC with Monique from Real Housewives of Potomac. I really like her and her family. I think they have a gorgeous family. I haven't really looked into the other people who are allegedly going to be on the show. I just hope they don't let them turn. I hope they don't let TV turn their marriage into what I'm seeing with these other marriages. That's one thing. People are always like, oh, Carlos King is such a great producer. We need him back on Real Housewives of Atlanta. And for me, I guess it's just who you ask. I think Carlos King has great ideas. Personally, for my taste, his production style goes too far. I do think there should be boundaries and limits. That's just me. I can say that it will definitely always make for exciting TV, but I'm kind of sick of seeing reality TV tear apart families. And sometimes it's not really the television show. Those cracks were already there, but the TV definitely doesn't help it. Next, okay, Real Housewives of Atlanta. We've been getting some stuff coming out about Real Housewives of Atlanta that I've been seeing. Now, initially, I absolutely was not excited about the lineup. Still really not excited, but I'm at least interested to start it and see where it goes. I know Candy has a show. I don't know if I'm gonna review Candy's show because, again, just from the previews, it looks overproduced. It looks fake. I don't like fake reality television. I need it to be as authentic as possible. And at this point, I don't even know if it's still possible with how reality TV has taken a turn. So I may watch it a little bit. I can't promise you that I will review it, but I'm excited for Real Housewives of Atlanta because allegedly, y'all, one of the most iconic scenes ever for me in Real Housewives.
Who was this wonderful person that was given a fashion show with no fashions? How dreadful. Who was this wonderful person that was given a fashion show with no fashions? How dreadful.
Oh, Lord. I'm sorry. That clip wasn't as clear as I wanted it to be. But y'all, that clip of Dwight talking to Nene about She by Sheree and this fashion show with no fashions, how dreadful, honey. That, along with, it's so funny. Sheree, actually, for me, has some of the most iconic reality TV show moments. From Dwight and Who Gonna Check Me, Boo? And then that scene where she was in, I think it was Kenya's housewarming, and somebody was coming in, but she's like in the corner, like, I need to find that GIF and play it for y'all. Those are like some of my favorite moments of Real Housewives of Atlanta. So to hear that the alleged finale of this season is going to be the actual She by Sheree fashion show, y'all, we've been waiting on these fashions since like 2008, 2009. 13 years. I have got to watch this. I have got to see the fashions. It's wonderful. I'm like, oh, y'all know how to reel us back in, honey. The originals, the OGs. I started watching Real Housewives of Orange County. I also watched Real Housewives of New Jersey. Somebody wanted me to do a review of that. Basically, my review is I'm glad Jennifer is getting everything that she should have been got. When you talk about how great your life is and how wonderful everything is, and you put everybody else down, it's only a matter of time before people come for you. So she should have done better. and been a little bit more discreet with all of the ways that she was talking to Margaret and I can't think of the other one's name right now with the blonde hair. But yeah, it's giving so far. And ironically, I can watch them fight easier than I can watch black women fight. I don't know what that's about, but it doesn't bother me as much with the New Jersey girls. And honestly, what I did want to say about that is they also don't get the flack that we get. And I just want to send a memo, anybody who knows Andy Cohen at because I've seen the previews of what's coming on for this season in New Jersey. I just need to hear at this reunion, we're putting you on notice already, Andy Cohen, Bravo. We need a statement up front that Bravo does not condone violence. We need that because you always manage to say it for everybody else, mainly Potomac in Atlanta. So we need to know at the beginning of Real Housewives of New Jersey's reunion that Bravo does not condone violence. And we want you to go just as hard as anybody else that's allegedly throwing blows this season as you did with Candace and Monique and whoever else, we need to hear that, sir. Because everybody else gets to do what they want to do, but you take a stand when certain people are involved, which is very interesting, but we know what that is. Anyway, yeah, I see y'all. Gia was in grown folks' business because her mama put her there. Yeah, Gia has always been very grown. Interestingly enough, from that first episode, y'all, I was actually sad. It's hard when you are the oldest child. One, she has to be the oldest daughter to her three siblings. So that is already growing her up fast. It's already kind of putting her in a mother's role. But when you have a mother like Teresa, when she was sitting there having to tell her mother that it was soon for her to be moving in and buying a house with this man and they've only been together for a year, Teresa, you should know that. Why is your child more concerned in having to tell you, oh, we're moving kind of fast and we can't lay out by the pool naked anymore because we have to be around boys. It's just weird to me. Like you move your 4 daughters in with this man and his son. And Lord, that video that came out. I'm not going to kink shame anybody or judge anybody's, what you do as an adult, because there was a private video that got exposed, but no. I after that video came out, I would definitely have second thoughts about moving in with my 4 daughters. That's just me. So yes, I'm excited about those things. I'm happy for them to come out. I don't know if y'all follow me on Instagram. If you don't, check me out on Instagram, ScaredofBeautiful. And I love Law and Order. When I say love, it's lightweight and obsession. I'm very upset with NBC and their coverage of the Winter Olympics. I really don't care about ice skating or bobsledding or any of these things. I particularly don't care about other countries doing those things. So instead of seeing Finland and Sweden on my TV, I would like to see my reruns of Law and Order SVU on USA. Like, I can understand you doing this on NBC, but the Winter Olympics have taken over all of the sister channels, CNBC, USA, like all of them. And I don't think that you need to show it on that many channels. I'm sure the ratings aren't that great. No one's really interested. I'm missing Law and Order, and I've probably seen every episode several times. But I still miss it. Thankfully, I get the original Law and Order on WE. So if you all don't know, the original Law and Order, the one that was the longest before Law and Order SVU surpassed it, is coming back. NBC is giving us a Law and Order night like ABC gave Shonda Rhimes a few years ago when it was all of her shows on Thursday night, except on NBC, it's going to be the original Law and Order. Jack McCoy is back in the building. He reminds me of Victor Newman because this man has had gray hair for as long as I've known him, and he is still alive. When I saw that commercial, I'm like, the man is still kicking. What? It's great. I'm so excited, really, for real. And then Law and Order SVU is going to come on at 8. And then Law and Order Organized Crime. I've been talking about this since it started. I love it. It is with Christopher Maloney, who was Detective Stabler. He's now back, but he has his own show where he goes after organized crime people. And his main nemesis is Dylan McDermott, who I absolutely love from his days on ABC's The Practice. He has the most beautiful blue eyes. And he has a black wife / ex-wife and biracial children and whatever. But Dylan McDermott, y'all, if y'all are not watching this show, I don't know what you're doing. And in general, I'm excited about scripted TV. Scripted TV has made a comeback for me in my life. I think next week or to Wednesday or whatever, or was it this last week? I don't know. Either they just had the season finale of Queens or we're about to have it. I started watching Queens. I love it. I'm a little biased. I love anything with Brandy Norwood. I am the Brandy Norwood. Clearly, my whole channel is named after a song that Brandy Norwood sung. I love Brandy. I really have enjoyed Queens. I really enjoyed Our Kind of People. That one finished up. So far, they have not gotten renewed, so we're going to hold our breath on that one. But I did like Our Kind of People. Power 2 just went off. Power 4 has started. I loved, love is a strong word with Power 2. I'm invested because I like Tariq and the characters. However, the acting, I love my people. Love Mary J. We'll talk about her in a minute with the Super Bowl. Love Method Man. His acting is much better than Mary J's. But my main thing with Power 2 is more so the writing. This whole leap of a storyline with Zeke being 4 years older than he really was, it's giving me Tyler Perry. Now, I've said this, and sometimes people get offended by this, and I'm sorry if you're offended by this. Tyler absolutely is who he is. He has amassed lots of money. I am very proud of him. I'm very proud of his studio. I quit watching his movies in 2011. I have not seen the growth, whether that's in production or in writing. And he constantly is like, I'm the only writer, as if that is a thing. Like, sir, you're a billionaire at this point. Invest in your product. Now, there are people, because, there aren't a lot of Black shows on television, who are going to watch and support. It's not me. And I can't. And when I say it's giving me Tyler Perry, a lot of times his storylines, because I've tried to watch some of them, they just have these huge leaps. And again, yes, it is TV and entertainment, but it's showing how somebody didn't sit in like kind of English and know about actual literature and character and plot development and character development and storylines and how you make things. Shonda Rhimes and Ava DuVernay, they do a wonderful job of making shows dramatic and engaging, but still believable. Now, with How to Get Away with Murder, I loved it. I had to turn off my lawyer brain for that, because as a lawyer, I know that that's not how stuff works. Anyway, I'm ranting at this point. But Power 2 was doing a lot with the writing. It was a lot. And I watched it. And I'm going to watch season 3. But since Courtney Kemp is now going over to Netflix, it's going to be interesting to see how the new showrunner and the new writers keep this story going. And hopefully we won't have any more unbelievable episodes where somebody called a hospital and got a birth certificate and had people telling them somebody's wrong birthday and correct birth date over the phone, because that would never, ever, ever happen. Also, was the child. He lived in the South. I kind of took a little offense to that because people were like, yeah, the people in the South, just because you live in the South, you know how old you are. And with him being so big and in competitive sports, if you know anything about competitive basketball, these, especially that like the AAU and those types of outside leagues, other teams look. I have friends who have real life just bigger kids, but they're legitimately 8 or 10 or whatever. They have to keep a birth certificate on them because their age is constantly questioned. Someone would have dug into that a long time ago and discovered that mess with Zeke. So the math wasn't mathing. It wasn't making any sense, and it was playing on my intelligence. So I didn't like that part about it. But other than that, it was good. Tommy's season is starting off interesting to me so far. I'm vested enough to see where it goes because I really do like Tommy as a character. And I think that might be pretty much it. Oh, there's a new season of American Greed. I'm watching that. And that's about it. Other than, I have to DVR a lot of this stuff because I can't actively watch it. And so a lot of times I'll just listen to it in the background at work. But I'm excited about those things. A few months away, there will be, if you all haven't seen it or heard it yet, Bobby Brown is having his own documentary and he's getting another reality show. I love Robert Beresford Brown, aka Bobby Brown. So I will definitely be watching that and reviewing that. And I know some of you all have seen, I've posted it. You all were posting it and sending me messages because I don't see Divorce Court throughout the day. Sometimes I catch the episodes on YouTube, but apparently what you see on TV and what I see on YouTube is not the same all the time. So when people were saying, oh, I saw you, I would go and look and I didn't see it. So I was home one day and I actually did see myself. So I love Divorce Court. I was able to be in the virtual audience. And if you all have not heard, Judge Faith has left the building. The new judge for this upcoming season will be Star Jones. They are currently looking for people. If you go to their YouTube channel for Divorce Court, and I think their Facebook, they're looking for people to actually be on the show. They haven't posted anything yet about the virtual audience. Someone had inboxed me and asked me, how did I get to be on the virtual audience? They usually film in the summer. I don't know, since the Coco Roro restrictions are starting to lift, if they're going to still do that, if they're going to have another virtual audience. So far, they have not listed an email address where you can send an inquiry or whatever to apply to be on in the audience or to inquire. So I don't know if they're still going to do it. I know they film in Atlanta, so they may not, because I think Atlanta is fairly open. They may go back to an in-person audience. But if I get any of that information, I will definitely post it either in my community tab or on YouTube. On Instagram, and share it with you all. 2 things that I do know. I just told you Divorce Court is casting. They're looking for couples who want to come on the show. And Ready to Love, if you live in the Miami area or somewhere around Miami in Florida, Ready to Love is casting. The next season will be Miami. And so they did 2 years in Atlanta, 2 seasons in Atlanta, 2 seasons in Houston. Now they've done DC and Potomac, and so the next move will be Miami. So if you're interested and single and want to be on any of these shows, I also think somebody said Married at, I did see Married at First Sight is casting for Nashville, if you live in the Nashville area. So, yeah, last few things. Can't leave without talking about the Super Bowl. Full disclosure, I have not watched a football game in the NFL probably since 2017. The Super Bowl, I'm like, who's going to be the halftime person? I watch halftime and that's it. So I was super excited. Y'all who follow me on Instagram know that I love music, love it. It's always around me in the background at work. When I'm in my car, it's a concert. When I want to just have fun and dance around the house, music is my number one medicine. It's my outlet. So I was super excited. This is a fun talk, y'all. We're not going to get into all of the complexities about this artist. Right now, I'm just talking about the music and what they brought. Y'all, I was super excited. One, I loved the set. I kept trying to figure out what was on the floor. And then I finally realized it was like a map of all of, I guess, Los Angeles. So that was super dope to me. Then we had, of course, Snoop come out. He, Uncle Snoop, we call him that. He's a Mississippi native. The first thing that popped in my mind, I'm like, baby, Snoop has on the crippiest Crip outfit I have ever seen in my life. I was like, this man literally got some tailor to use a whole rag and make him an outfit. But, it's Snoop. It looked great. I've seen all of these pictures now coming out where he was smoking behind the scenes. We know who and what he is, y'all. He doesn't hide that. So I don't know why this is so like, oh my God, he was smoking. Most of these entertainers do that, if not worse. So he was getting lit up before the performance. But it was really just nostalgic for me. All of this music is like late 90s, early 2000s. So I was like in high school, going into college. It was great seeing, except with the exception of Kendrick Lamar. It was great to see Dre in his production bag doing what he does best. That humongous set with his, his all the I can't even think of the name right now, but the board for his producing and recording. Then of course Mary came out. I'm like, Lord, Mary in this icy leopard. When I tell y'all 50 what? I've never looked like that in my whole life, but to look like that at 50 plus, the girl is gorgeous. Her body is banging. Thighs was thigh-ing. The thigh boots was, oh Lord, it was a gorgeous outfit. She was shining and glittering and glowing as she should have been, the only woman on the stage. Kendrick Lamar, I loved his opening with the guys in the boxes and stuff, those formations. It just reminded me of so many things in my life. It reminded me being in band and all the practicing that those men had to do to march and fitting those formations and heel toe and the 1, 2, your 8 counts and all of that stuff. It was so fun. I was really enjoying myself, laughing and dancing and singing all these songs. Eminem, he is who he is, y'all. I love Lose Yourself. It's one of my favorite songs ever. Was very glad that he decided to do him and he took the knee that he planned on taking the whole time, even though powers that be in the NFL allegedly told him not to. Same thing with Dr. Dre. He still kept his, still not loving the police. They had made it, they didn't say F the police. They had already made the songs PG so that there was no cursing. To hear him say everything and try to stay as true to himself as he could, I loved that part. 50 Cent, I loved his performance, but y'all, him trying to reenact the hanging upside down. I wanted to find this clip to actually show y'all, and if not, y'all can go back and watch it. But when he was trying to come down, he almost kicked the dancer in the head, y'all. It was hilarious. That girl was a consummate professional, though. She kept shaking it and moving. And of course, in the club was everybody's song. Now, social media is all in the uproar. You got people on one side, you got people on the other side, because people were quote unquote body shaming 50 because, he put on a few pounds. He's eating well. The money is good. Probably hasn't been in the gym or with his trainer as much with the panorama. So he's noticeably much bigger, but also he's 20 years older. However, y'all, 50 is a grown man with thick skin. We got to call a thing a thing. 50 body shames everyone. Always has. Hasn't stopped. He will be fine. This is his turn to get what he has been given for years. So stop going out here putting on y'all's cape trying to save people and oh my God, he's getting older, blah blah blah. Yeah, everyone does get older, but 50 don't give nobody else grace. He talks about everybody else like a dog. So, I see nothing wrong with the jokes. And honestly, from what I've seen on social media, he doesn't care either. He's reposted most of the stuff. This was my favorite particular meme. It's the guys from that show that I don't know if it still comes on because I haven't watched the History Channel in so long, but from Pawn Stars. And so a person's like, can we get hologram Tupac? And they're like, the best I can do is upside down 50 Cent. That was hilarious to me. And because I also, when Dre got off of the mixer, that's what I was trying to say, the audio mixing board, and hopped on the piano and started playing those chords to I Ain't Mad at You, I just knew hologram Tupac was coming out. I was bracing myself. I probably would have legit cried. That's me. You'll see it. Well, you may not see it, but I cry when I'm happy. I cry when I'm mad. I cry when I'm sad. I cry I cry. So I love Tupac. Tupac and Michael Jackson are they are my all-time favorites. It felt like I knew them for real. And if even hologram Tupac would have came out, I would have been done. But the whole production of the house party look and the low riders, and I just wanted somebody to start riding those bikes around. Maybe they were and I missed it, but I watched it a couple times and I never seen the bikes being ridden around. I have lots of family that lives in California, so I would go there for summers. I didn't live there, but just to see the whole culture. And I'm a person who's big on putting on for your city, repping where you come from. So I respect that part of it. Like they put on for California and for Dre, for even the, because Mary J and Eminem and all of them and 50, like they're not from California, but it's still this body of work that this man produced in their record label with Aftermath and all of these things. So for me, it was dope. It was for the culture. I'm not going to sit here like I've seen some people saying it was the greatest, but I will say it is definitely in the top 5. Michael Jackson, Prince, singing Purple Rain, In the Rain, Beyonce and Bruno Mars. It was definitely top 5. Now, I did wish that they had a bigger bang at the end. Again, I don't know, maybe because of the panorama, why they didn't do like fireworks or some big way to end it. Mary J ended her piece with the death drop. I was like, okay, Mary letting y'all know she tired. She done worked. I was actually excited because at first they were saying she was only going to get 1 song and she gave us 2. So I was happy about that. I wish Eminem could have done 2, but I know they only have so much time. But to see all of those people out there in the Dickie suits, crip walking, Snoop crip walking like I was in here doing something. Ironically, like my favorite song to try to do that dance to is YG, My Hitter. That is like my song, and I do everything but sea walk. But yeah, because I'm from Mississippi and we don't know how to do that. But yeah, I was so excited. It definitely took me back, and I really love to see our people represented with such professionalism, honestly, and excellence. And we know I've seen some of the backlash, so I'm sure the next few half times we'll go back to being country music or something. But we enjoyed it while we had it, and they did a really, really good job. Like I saw people from all age groups really liking it and enjoying it for what it was. So I think that, yeah, those are pretty much all the thoughts that I had on the Super Bowl halftime show. I can't tell you about. I mean, I know who won, but I can't really tell you about the game. Or I didn't even watch any commercials this year because sometimes I would go back on YouTube and watch some of the commercials. I didn't watch. I saw people kind of talking about some kind of commercial where they had a QR code and people were joking that they now just stole all your identity information, whoever tried to work it or do it, but I didn't see any of those commercials. So yeah, that's my thoughts on the halftime performance. The next thing, and that'll be tomorrow. I may come on and do a chat. Y'all, this is 2 hours and 30 minutes. I did not expect this to be this long. But I may come on and chat with you all briefly tomorrow night after the verses. Again, I love music. I love most of the verses. I think we are safe to say that tomorrow there will be no fighting, a la Bone Thugs and Harmony and 3 6 Mafia. But tomorrow night, Versus is back, and we have Music Soul Child and Anthony Hamilton. For me, Versus has always been mismatched most of the times. I really would like them to do another one where they're focusing more on producers. You know, when it first started, it was mainly producers against each other versus actual artists. Because most times the artists don't match up. Like 3 6 Mafia and Bone Thugs was a bad match, period. They make completely different types of music. Music Soul Child and Anthony Hamilton both kind of came from the neo soul genre, and they started around the same time and had most of their hits around the same time. But for me, their artistry is so different. And for me, I really love gritty voices and soul singers who sing like Anthony Hamilton, like Cisco, like Casey Haley from Jodeci, Teddy Pendergrass, like all of those people with those types of voices. Music's voice is so light, and airy. I like his songs, love some of his songs, love Half Crazy, love, Love. Love Girl Next Door. I love a lot of music's stuff, but in my head, knowing his catalog and knowing Anthony Hamilton's catalog, when Anthony Hamilton plays Point of It All, when he plays Giving You the Best of Me, what is music gonna come back with? Like what, when the Hamiltones get out there, what is music coming back with? It's just, it's not really a competition at this point. Everybody's like, oh, it's just about the culture. Oh, we're putting on for the culture. And I get that too. So either way, I'm excited to see it. I know it should be really good. Hopefully, maybe they'll bring out some special guests, like 3 6 Mafia did with them and Bone. But if not, they're two great artists. It was a great time for music, specifically R&B music. R&B, unfortunately, is not coming off the way it used to be, but we can at least listen to the old songs and think about the good old days. Y'all, I know it's been a while, and thank you all who are still here hanging out with me. I'm gonna drop this link just for a quick second. If you all want to come on and chat or ask me a question or something, there is the link. Terry B says, did you miss Mary and Mickey Guyton? Yes, I did. If you didn't hear me, I did not keep myself abreast of the full lineup. I ended up seeing Mickey's Star Spangled Banner separately. Again, people were talking about the mix up where they labeled her as Janae Aiko, and I'm like, what happened there? So I saw that part of it, But that's it. That caused me to go back and look at her video. So I think she did a really great job with the Star Spangled Banner. I'm not really a country music person, but I'm proud of her. I hope she kills it. You know, we can do all things. And what usually happens is that we go into some spaces and we dominate and they don't want us there anymore. So I hope she does well. It's not really my favorite genre of music. I'm not opposed to listening. You know, I may go on Pandora or something and listen to, or YouTube and go and listen to some of her songs. But I have to be honest and say I'm not, I'm not a fan because I haven't really, I'm really just learning about her and hearing about her. But she did a really good job with the Star Spangled Banner. And I don't know what Mary did. What did they do? Tell me what they do, y'all. Sandra said Miss Badu and Jill Scott were lovely. They absolutely were. That was so good. DP says, girl, he better not bring his background. They almost good as him. Don't do it, Anthony. I can't see Anthony being there without bringing the Hamiltons. I've seen Anthony was at a concert a few years ago in New Orleans. It was him and Fantasia. When I tell y'all a show, that was a show. Avalon Park says, you all need to see The Tender Swindler. That documentary is a royal mess. I'm going to try to watch that one. Does it come on Netflix? I think it comes on Netflix. I think I still have Netflix. I don't keep Netflix, y'all. A lot of this stuff I get rid of because I have too many subscriptions. So like I had HBO Max for Insecure. Once that went off, I quit watching it. I know I didn't do reviews for Insecure, y'all. Honestly, Insecure didn't pick up for me until the last 2 or 3 episodes. The rest of the episodes, I had nothing to talk about. To me, it was boring. It wasn't giving what I thought it was going to give for last season, but it ended well. It picked up those last few episodes, and I ended up being satisfied and proud of the ending. I watched their documentary behind the scenes, which was good. But after that was over, I got rid of HBO Max. The only reason why I reinstated my Netflix is because I saw that I can't think of the show right now. The show about, they do a different what do you call it? A different country or city every season. Let me see. Narcos. That's the name of it. Narcos. So I heard that there was a new season of Narcos out, and I wanted to watch that. So that's it. Oh, Yvette Wright. She did they did Lift Every Voice and Sing. So I haven't watched it. What I have seen is the debate over the fact of where they were placed outside the venue, which is interesting to say the least. But I haven't watched it. Like I said, I didn't see it, but I'm sure they did wonderful. Please watch Euphoria. Probably not, sis. I again, one thing I talked about is protecting your peace, and the things that I've seen and heard about Euphoria, I don't want that energy in my life. No. No. I don't think I'm gonna check out that one. But all right, y'all. I dropped the link. Like I said, this was really just to catch up with you guys, to check in, to show gratitude for everything. Although I don't always respond to messages, and that's for lots of reasons, y'all. Through my year on YouTube, there's just been a lot going on. And honestly, unless I have engaged with you before, unless I can go to your page and see that you're a real person, you have other followers and friends, and there's a real picture there, you never know who's behind that computer, you know. And I am not a person, like I said, I don't like to be involved in mess. I don't like to go back and forth with people. And for a while, there were people who were just inboxing me and sending me things just to see if I would respond, just to see what I would say. And I'm wise enough to know that people will take what you say and try to make it into something that it's not. So if I don't say something or anything, then you can't misuse it. So I apologize. Sometimes when I get questions, I just try to answer them openly in a public forum. And if that was your question, then you kind of know the answer. And sometimes not, because as much as I've said, drawn boundaries and said, look, I'm here. The past is the past. People still try to push it on me when certain things happen. And then I just end up having to block people. So I try not to take it there. But when people don't stop, then that's just what you have to do, because I'm not going to engage, right? So I hope you understand. But that's sometimes why I don't always respond if I can't tell that you are a real person or that you're being genuine, right? So it's just what it is. Avalon Park said, I heard about Euphoria is nothing nice. People say it's worse than P Valley. Well, see now, I liked P Valley. Was P Valley bad? I don't know if it's the Mississippi in me or what, or maybe because it was set in Mississippi and I wanted to support. I didn't watch P Valley as it was rolling out. I binged it after, when I got my stars back, while I was waiting on one of the power seasons to come on. And it was okay. Again, I think for some reason, there's this train of thought that we should only have certain types of entertainment. And I think that's unfair. We have people who live all different types of life. And if someone wants to tell their story or tell a story and they have the funding, then they should do it. But again, as a watcher, you always have the ability to vote or, have your voice heard with your views. And if you don't like something, absolutely don't watch it. But I don't like this narrative of we should only act a certain way or do a certain thing. And because I've said it many times, and people will argue and debate the fact that, I don't have kids, so I guess I'm not supposed to know what it's like to be raised or to have nieces and nephews. You can never control the world. All you can do is arm your children and educate your children. My mother would throw away certain CDs if she found them. I still listen to them. But what she did do was say, this is entertainment. This is a lifestyle that people are perpetuating. You don't live that lifestyle, little girl. Nor do I want you to. Now, as I've gotten older, I can't lie that I think about things sometimes. I was listening to, I think, a Waka Flocka song lately. And it was like, did this obsession with this like drug and fast money culture come first? Or like what Snoop and Dre would always say about gangster rap, we're rapping about what we saw and what we lived. So was the culture already there, or did the music make the culture? I don't know. It's ripe for debate, but fundamentally, you have to instill and raise those things in your children, because you'll never be able to fully control the outside influences. They're going to get in this world sooner or later. So at least it'll be better if you've armed them. And even if they go away from your teachings, almost always they come back. And for me, it's like, I don't see enough of that. I'm not talking about y'all because I don't know y'all, but I know people whose kids always have an iPad and a TV. And it's like the iPad and the TV are raising their children. And so they get mad at the content when you need to have the discussion, because you can't hide it from them. they will see it sooner or later. Now, I do think there are age-appropriate conversations that have to happen. But to completely close your eyes to it and put it at the feet of these movie directors and the producers and the music artists and stuff, child, that'll never happen. So that's my 2 cents on that. I thought for grown adults, P-Valley was a decent show. Definitely would not want anybody's child to watch it. And so I think for me, with what I've heard about Euphoria, that's where I have some apprehension about it, because it's like what I've heard, I haven't seen it, but teenagers or young adults, I'm like, yeah, I'm not good with that. And then anything that's kind of Alice in Wonderland-ish is a no. Alice in Wonderland creeped me out as a little girl. So I've never watched, like I watched it once or twice and was like, this is weird. As an adult, I figured out my instincts were right. But I've never watched any remakes of it. So things like that go into hallucinations and heavy drug use and stuff like that, it's not for me. Not for me. So Simone Wealthy says, Euphoria appears to be about teen drug addicts and drug sellers. It's real, but I can't watch. Yeah, no. I can't. American Greed actually had a really good episode, if y'all want to go back and watch it, called The Kingpin Next Door. It's about this white guy who ended up being one of the biggest drug dealers ever, but for quote-unquote pharmaceutical drugs. The difference is he was actually manufacturing his own drugs. The man had a pill press in his basement and was making his own Xanax and all the prescription pills and then selling it on the dark web. Well, whatever chemistry, self-induced chemistry he was using, he was putting fentanyl and all kinds of other stuff in it. And so people ended up dropping dead and dying. And I was watching the whole time with my side eye, because some of the people that they interviewed were, making the story so flowery, and he was helping people get pain medicine that they couldn't normally get. And I'm like, say what now? You know. So I was suspect on what his sentence would be, but surprisingly, he got life, which is what he deserved, because they had proof that several people died from his product. So it's interesting. Like, real life is stranger than fiction, but Euphoria just sounded like way too much for me, y'all. So I couldn't do it. I'm going to get off of here and let y'all go enjoy your night. It is 11 where I am. That is craziness. But one last thing I'll leave you with, like I said, I love here, and I love music. Here are a few 5 little, I made a little small something to start your playlist or to put in your rotation on your playlist that I would be listening to if I was booed up right now, or even when I'm not. I listen to this stuff all the time. So here we go. Number 1, Jill Scott, Come See Me. It's a favorite. Ooh Ah by Boyz II Men. Great. Guaranteed a good time. Me and You by Tony. I love it. It was on the Boys in the Hood soundtrack. And Tony is always a good thing. The Love Song by Future. It's actually by Rihanna, featuring Future. If you're into toxic love, that's one for you. And Pulling Me Back by Chingy. Again, toxic love, but everyone has that person. Everyone has that person that you want to get rid of, but for some reason you can't. I've been there. Definitely been there. So those are just 5 of my quick favorites. Again, if you missed it, Come See Me by Jill Scott. Ooh Ah by Boyz II Men from their first album. Me and You by Tony. I would love to see Raphael Sadiq and Tony get back together. That would be wonderful. Love song, Rihanna featuring Future, and Pulling Me Back by Chingy. And Tyrese sings the hook. It's one of my favorite hooks that Tyrese did. So I love you all. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for embracing me and supporting me on this YouTube journey. If you are new here, please subscribe to the channel. Join my beauties and bows. I'm so excited. Y'all have so many things coming out. I'm just excited. And I'm ready to really, really do this, but do it my way. So I have some interviews coming for y'all. I have some collaborations coming. I have some of my standalone content with just me. I listened. I understand we don't want these 3-hour lives. This was not meant to be a 2 hour and 45 minutes /3 hour live. So I'm have some smaller little pre-recorded videos. And honestly, I'm going to go back to more pre-recorded videos. There'll be a live here and there, but mostly we'll be doing some pre-recorded videos. And I hope you all enjoy and you are here for it. If you missed it, Scared of Beautiful. It's a new year. Thank you all for joining me for my first year on YouTube. It's only up, as the kids say, from here. And we're going to get into it. We are going to talk Black culture, all things positive, encouraging. There will be a little bit of, reality show content here and there. But mostly, if anybody would ask me, what is your niche on YouTube? My niche is joy, right? My niche is personal development. My niche is professional development. My niche is edutainment, growth, and purpose. And I hope you are here. Please like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Consider becoming a member of the channel. And as always, I love y'all. Thank you for joining me. I want y'all to have a great night. All right. I'll see y'all next time. Bye.